All right, let's talk about a feeling that I think so many of us know all too well. It's that feeling of being constantly in motion, but somehow standing completely still.
I mean, let me just ask you this. Do you ever get to the end of a totally packed day, or even a whole week, full of emails, meetings, just stuff to do, and you look back and think, what did I actually do? Like you haven't really moved the needle on anything that truly matters. Kind of like you're just running on a treadmill, right?
Well, if you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. And there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called drifting.
So what does that actually mean, drifting? Well, it's not a personal failing, and it's not about being lazy. Not at all. It's this really common modern thing, this tendency we have to live our lives without a clear guiding purpose, without that higher aim that kind of organizes everything else we do.
And you know what this looks like in real life? It's a life that's totally governed by the next notification that pops up, the next email that lands in your inbox, the next urgent thing someone else needs. You spend your whole day just reacting, instead of consciously directing where your life and your energy are supposed to go. You end up being a passenger instead of the pilot.
But here's the really interesting part. All that busyness, it's not an accident. It's actually doing a job for us. It's this super convenient, totally socially acceptable distraction. It keeps us so busy with all the small stuff that we never have to face the one really big question that's lurking underneath it all.
And that question is, what is all this for? I mean, really, what's the point of all this activity? What am I even working towards? Yeah, that's the scary question that all that busyness helps us avoid.
So, what's the alternative? Well, it turns out there is one. And the answer isn't some new productivity hack or a trendy app. Nope, it's an ancient philosophy, and it's all about the art of human flourishing.
The ancient Greeks, they had a word for this. It's called eudaimonia. Let me say that again, eudaimonia. And it's the perfect antidote to drifting. Now, this isn't about just feeling happy for a moment. It's way deeper. It's about a real, meaningful sense of well-being that you get from building a life that points toward the highest good.
And this is the core idea, right here. The ultimate goal, the highest good for a human being, isn't just to get by or to stay busy. It's to live a life of flourishing, a life packed with meaning, excellence, and a real sense of purpose.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, you can think of it like a three-part practice. First, you actively seek virtue. That just means building good character. Maybe it's being a little more patient with a coworker or finding the courage to have a tough conversation. Second, you pursue truth, trying to see the world and your own place in it with honesty. And third, in everything you do, you consciously aim for the highest good. The key thing to remember is these aren't destinations you arrive at, they're directions you point your life towards.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to a choice between two completely different ways of being in the world, the path of the drifter versus the path of the flourisher.
And this really lays out the difference, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got the drifter. They're passive, unquestioning, just reacting to whatever life throws at them. But then, on the right, you have the flourisher. They're active, they're purposeful, they make a conscious choice to orient their life towards something good. It's the difference between being pulled around by the current and actually setting your own course.
And here's probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. To start this journey, you do not need to have a perfect, fully formed answer right away. The pressure's off. The most powerful first step you can take is just deciding to stop drifting and start asking the question.
So that's what I want to leave you with. Think of this less as information and more as an invitation. A question for you to take with you long after you're done with this. Just take a moment and really ask yourself, what is my highest aim?